What's up guys, Ace Kid here, and today I'm going to show you the first ever Magician's Blog. So I'll explain what that is later in the video, but right now I'm going to do a little magic trick. So let's just start off by just picking a card. Let's use this one. Okay, this will be the Queen of Diamonds. Okay, we'll lose that in the middle of the deck somewhere. Maybe give the deck a bit of a shuffle. Okay. Done. Okay. Now, I actually have a little prediction in my pocket, so nothing in my hands. Okay, check that. My pocket, in this little protective case, I have a prediction. Oh, dang it, I forgot to put it in there. Alright, here. Let's do this. Let's just pretend that your card was in the Queen of Diamonds. That'd be so cool. Just imagine if your card was in there. There's nothing in there now. But watch this. There it is. Little corner. Okay? See, there's nothing else in there. Just the Queen Diamonds. Now this is cool. What's even better is that in the deck we have the rest of it. Right there. You see, it's a perfect match. Okay. Blog things about. Okay, so I'm going to be starting this. Every week I'm going to make a video called The Magician's Blog. Okay? Now this, I'm going to feature a magic trick like you just saw. Today's trick of the week is, the trick of the week is Strip by Hosea Quest. So, you saw the performance, and now I'm going to do a deck review on the Arcane deck. Now, in all these Magician's Blog, I'm going to review something, whether it's a deck of cards, a magic trick, whatever. I'm also going to do a performance, and I'm going to kind of talk about what's going on. And, yeah, so let's get right into the review. Here we have our Arcane deck, of course. Let's get some better light here. And you can see the box is pretty nice, pretty cool. The back, of course, depicts the back of the box. And these are the UE500 Airflow finish. And it says Arcane playing cards. It's probably too dark for you to see. But yeah, let's pop these open. And first thing you get when you open it up, oops, kind of shuffled around right now. Okay. First thing you get is the two Arcane Jokers, here, which you can see. One of them says Arcane, as you can see here, it says Arcane. And the other one says 3 hearts, which is pretty cool, nice little reveal. And that's actually the only reveal on this deck, which is kind of nice. It doesn't take away so much from the design. There's also a double backer in here, which I can't seem to find right now. Hold on just a second. There it is. Okay. It's got kind of shuffled around. Yeah, you also get a double backer. You also do get an Illusionist Ad card, but I took this out. It looks just like the other ones. Anyways, now into the deck. We have a very nice stock. Same stock as all the other Illusionist decks. Of course, they fan extremely well. Got a nice little red and gray actually. Nice about this deck. So, in terms of the quality, just like all the other Illusionist decks, I think they're probably the best cards out there. So I'm going to give the fanning and spreading a 10 out of 10. The stock a 10 out of 10. And, yeah. So now let's get into the design. Here we have a very nice looking card. All of them look very nice, but this one particularly, the Jack of Spades, you can see there's kind of some smoke around him and everything. I'm just going to let you look at that for a minute. So that looks really nice, okay? This is probably my favorite card in this deck. Which, I mean, it's just really cool. If you see it in person, you'll notice just how much detail went into this. just all the little things. They are a little bit different than your typical bicycle. There's little designs, like for example this little sash that he has is different than on the bicycle one. There's some little writing on it. This little thing right here is different. So that's different. There's also a bit of shadows in the corner here. And that's kind of similar to the Shadow Masters deck, but it's not like all over the card, which I like. These are definitely in competition with the Shadow Masters deck. Shadow Masters is probably my second favorite now. Yeah, oh by the way, a little thing. I did Sharpie these, which means I colored the edges black. I do this with all my black decks. I did it with the Raiders, Shadow Masters, Black Ghost, so yeah. Anyway, some of the other cards. It's the Ace of Clubs, of course, gotta do the Ace of Clubs. Ace of Clubs good. Once again, we have that shadowing here, and there's kind of a grayish color to it. It's not quite as bright as the other, like, black decks out there. Here's another court card. I wish I could show you them all, but in the name of time, I won't. Oh yeah, a little thing I wanted to show you. You can see on the red cards, there's not really that same shadowing in the corners here. Okay, it's just kind of red. At least I can't see it. It's either not there or very, very faint. You can see it's much more prominent on the black cards. I say black because they're actually kind of gray. Let's go find the Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades looks very nice in this deck. I like it because it's very simple. There it is. Cool little thing to show you. As you can see, look in the corner here. Okay, you can see it's a lot darker gray than on the Ace of Clubs. Or, yeah, the Ace of Clubs. You can see there. Look at that one. Look at this one. It's a lot darker gray in that pip. And other than that, it's just a very simple yet awesome design. It seems to be this kind of ribbon that makes the Ace of Spades. It says Arcane Playing Cards down here. Doesn't have anything else. Doesn't say United States Playing Card Company, which is nice. I really like them. I think they're just a fantastic feeling deck. I would highly recommend these. The whole thing I wanted to say was a lot of people ask, like, are these really good? How are they compared to these? What's the best deck of cards in the world? When I get asked these kind of questions, it kind of annoys me a little bit. The reason is, if you're not feeling the cards yourself, it's hard to say what's best for you. So I think if you're interested in this deck or any other deck, I would recommend picking it up. They're about $7 for the black and white. I still have to get the white ones, and I'll do an update on that later. But overall, I'd give these cards a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, they're near perfect. They're definitely up there with the Shadow Masters, and probably one of my favorite decks. I would highly recommend getting a, getting a card clip. I got this metal one here for about $7 or so. Somewhere between like $7 and $10. So if you have a nice deck, get a card clip. So yeah, that's our review of the week. So now we're gonna get into some other stuff, which I'll do right now. Alright, so here I am back again, and now I'm going to do a little quick tip. I'll once again have these in all of my Magician's blogs from now on. So today's quick tip is buying cards in bulk. This used to contain 12 decks of playing cards. I got this about 3-4 months ago. Yeah, about 3 or 4 months ago. And I've gone through all but 2 of these decks. Actually, all but 1. So I've used 11 decks in about 4 or 5 months. And this whole thing was only $10, which is a really good deal. That's a little bit less than $1 a deck, which is really, really nice. I got this at Costco. It should be in this packaging. You can also get like packs of 9 or so. And I highly recommend this because it gives you extra cards that you can use. You know, if your deck starts to kind of feel weird, or, you know, maybe you leave it in your pocket and it gets washed or something. It's just really nice to have all these decks and not have to worry about going out to buy them. So, yeah, like I said, about $10, really good bang for your buck here. So that's just a little quick tip, and yeah. Alright, so what's up guys, back again, and this is the last portion of our Magician's blog. Now normally here I would answer questions or comments you guys had about the previous week, or just kind of in general, but I don't really have any questions to answer since this is the first one, so instead I decided to do a different segment. This is going to be best things to buy for under $10. Start off with, we have sponge balls. We have, these are, I believe, 1.5 inch, and these are 2.5 inches. So, these are only around $3 or so each. Or like for a pack of 4 rather. And they're really great. I mean, if you don't have some already, I highly recommend picking some up. You can do things like putting one in this hand, putting another in that hand, and then making them switch plate, vanish, and then come over here, which is really cool. And then you can build up and make 4 pop out of your spectators' hands. Just lots of cool stuff. And so yeah, these are about $3. Come in many different sizes and colors, and they're really great, especially for kids. The next thing are these friction pens. Now, you may or may not have heard of these before, but basically what they do is they're fully functioning as a normal pen. I mean, they're not really gimmicked or anything. You can bring them to school, whatever. And what's special about them is that the ink actually gets erased with heat or friction, as they're called. And these, you can get a pack of 3 for about $5 from Staples. And these are really great. You can do lots of reveals, and, you know, you can look up on YouTube. There's a lot of videos with performances of these. There's a lot you can do with them. So that's the second thing. The third thing is sponge bunnies. Once again, kind of similar to sponge balls, but these are a bit different. They're kind of, show you here. Get a bunch of them. You get a big Papa Bear, or a Papa Bunny, and then a Mama Bunny, and then a bunch of little kids. Basically, it's the same kind of idea as the sponge balls. You start off by putting one in your hand, putting one in their hand, and then they both come over here to the spectator's hand, and then you try it again. You put both of them in the spectator's hands, and then all these little baby bunnies come out. These are also available as 3D rabbits from Goshman, and they look a bit more cute and 3-dimensional, which is nice. Now the fourth, right? Yeah, fourth. The fourth thing we're going to do is Bobo's Coin Magic. I understand not all of you like books. I'm not a big fan of reading myself, but this is probably like one of the best things you can get for under $10. I think it's actually right at $10, but there's just so much information in here. If you want to learn an effect similar to 3 fly, where you have 3 coins in this hand and none in this hand, and then one at a time they fly over here, and then there's nothing in this hand. If you want to learn that, there's a similar version in here. There's a bunch of coin vanishes, apparitions, how to sleeve coins, that whole art. I mean, this is what is it? It's like 350 pages, and for $10, it's really awesome. So now we're at our fifth, and the final thing you can get for under $10 is an illusionist deck. Now, there's lots of them, of course. There's your Shadow Masters, this one obviously well used, Black Ghost, Arcanes, yeah, and White Ghost. So these are all great. They're all under $10. Most of them are $7. So I highly recommend picking some of those up. They're really great cards. Probably the best I've ever used. And yeah, I highly recommend picking some up. So that's just our top 10. I thank you for watching, and please watch next week's episode.